Hello, this is Miles McGuire with the Warrior King, and today we're going to talk about Psalm 91. And I was listening to a radio program the other night, and it's by some pretty famous, fringe Christians, or so they say, and they're not really the mainstream, but they get caught up in the dogma that is Christianity, and it's just really disheartening to hear them, especially do something like Psalm 91. They gave it. They just bumbled through it, and I was like, man, that isn't the way Psalm 91 it should be read, at least not in my opinion. This is just, my opinion, so I'm going to read Psalm 91 the way I see Psalm 91, and, I have the Strong's numbers to go along with it to kind of give a little more light on what it is and what is being said, and it's, Psalm 91 is one of those scriptures that, King David is really laying it out to, this is him, because he is. When you think about King David, you think of the mighty warrior King David. Anyway, that's my opinion of him. And he did some really wonderful things, and, he did a lot of bad things, but still, first and foremost, he was a man after Yahweh's own heart. So I do a lot of studying of King David because, that's who I'd like to be like. I know Yeshua is the perfect example, but he was so perfect that, is it realistically for me to be as I strive to be like him, but it seems King David is a little more obtainable in my reaching, but he is a man of honor and a man of Yahweh, and that's what I choose to be as well. And he seems to go about it the way my life has gone, and I'm not saying I'll ever be the king of anything, but each man is the king of his own castle, according to Yahweh, and we're supposed to act as such, and so he is a great example for how to do that. So Psalm 91 is one of them ones that, he wrote for his day and age, but it is so applicable to our day and age and to what we're getting ready to see coming down the line. And it's an interesting thing, and so with that, let's get on into Psalm 91, and I'm reading out of the ISR scriptures, so if yours doesn't read quite the same, if you're reading out of a KJV, then it means the same things, but it's, they just leave the names, the sacred names in there, which I enjoy. And so we're going to start with Psalm 91. And we'll go through it in parts and pieces, and you'll see what I mean as we get going. So 91, verse 1 and 2 to start with. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High, who abides under the shadow of the Almighty, he is saying of Yahweh, my refuge and my stronghold, my Elohim in whom I trust. And so going through this, went through the Strong's. I was reading through the Strong's numbers, trying to just get a feel for what was being said, and truly what David was really trying to get out by him when he wrote this. And but we get to he who dwells in the secret place. I was like, I wonder what this secret place thing is. So I went back to the Strong's numbers, and it's H5643. And it's say there. And it means a cover. I don't know where they get secret place from, but the Strong's word for it is a cover. So when you read it that way, he who dwells in the cover of the Most High, who abides under the shadow of the Almighty, he is saying of Yahweh, my refuge and my stronghold, my Elohim in whom I trust, which I don't know what a secret place is, but I know what a cover is, and that's Yahweh is our cover, and that's what he's telling here. But I also went through and it said, he who abides under the shadow of the Almighty. So I was trying to, what does that mean in the Hebrew, the abide? And it's lum, and it means to stop. So when you read that, it says, he who dwells in he who dwells in the cover of the Most High, who stops under the shadow of the Almighty. He is saying, Yahweh, my refuge, my stronghold, my Elohim in whom I trust. So that makes sense to me. It's kind of abides under the shadow. But it does, when it says it's to stop, it means one of the things in the definition was to stop forever. So he who dwells, he who stops under the shadow of the Almighty forever. My refuge, my stronghold, my Elohim in whom I trust. So that makes it a little more, and shed a little more light on what he's trying to say here. But we're going through 3 through 6 now, 91, 3 through 6. For he delivers you from the snare of a trapper, from the destructive pestilence. He covers you with his feathers. And under his wings you take refuge. His truth, a shield and an armor. You are not afraid of the dread by night, of the arrows that fly by day, of the pestilence that walks in darkness, of the destruction that ravages at midday. So, when we get back, when we read that part about he delivers us from the snare of the trapper, that delivers means actually to pull away. He actually will pull you out of that. That's what that means, and it's from the destructive pestilences. And he covers you with his feathers. And that word covers, when I was reading through it, I was like, well, that's interesting, because it's sakak. It's H5526. And it means to properly to entwine, as a screen, by implication, to fence in or cover over. So it means he really covers you over with feathers, kind of like a mama chicken does with their babies. If you ever see them, she just completely covers them, and and they basically performs a shield for you and an armor for you. It reminds me of in the old movies you see with the holding up the shields and the arrows and everything are flying and just impacting into the shields and nothing's getting through, everything under it's safe. And it tells you will not be afraid of the dread by night. So all this stuff, the pestilence, the stuff that are moving through the land, you have no fear of, because you know that he is your shield and your God. He is the one that's protecting you from all of this stuff and of all the destruction. For he is our strong tower and our deliverer. So we get to 7 through 8, and these are pretty interesting, because this is, to me, a lot of people they just breeze right through this and they don't get the full impact, I believe, of what David's trying to say. And it says, 1,000 fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but it does not come near to you. Only with your eyes you look on and see the reward of the wicked ones, or of the wrong ones. So, 1,000 fall at your side. I was like, I wonder what. So I was reading through that, and the word 1,000 is that, and fall at your side. And I got to the word side, and it's sod. It's T-S-A-D, sod. And it's H6654. And it's come from the meaning of sidle off, or a side, or figuratively an adversary. So it's, if you're 1,000 adversaries fall at your side. And I was like, well, that's interesting. And 10,000 at your right hand. So the word 10,000 is H7233. What's interesting about that is it's Reb-Abah, and it's abundance. That is a myriad. Definitely or definitely means many, millions, or 10,000. The 10,000 is the last word in the definition. So you wonder if the people who translated this said, well, maybe it's 10,000 because a million couldn't fall at your right hand. But we're talking about Yahweh here. This is not average. So if you read it that way, it's if your adversaries, 1,000 of your adversaries fall at your side, and a million fall at your right hand. That's not out of the realm of possibilities, because we're talking about Yahweh here, and he is our strength. There's nothing that can harm you, so you're just steadily taking care of business. But it does not come near to you. Wickedness does not come near to you. Only your eyes look on and see the reward of the wicked one. So once you get you're on this battlefield, and these death and everything is just falling at your right hand, and there's thousands of them that are just falling. When you read the stories of Joshua, and it talks about the Israelites are just slaying the Amorites, but on the other side of that, Yahweh is dropping hailstorms and hailstones on the Amorites as they're trying to flee. So to me, that's what he's telling us here is they're falling to your left side. You're seeing to your side, these things are just getting wiped out. And you are with your right hand doing the same thing on your right side. And Yahweh is just laying waste to everything. It's just, that is when you see the reward for the wickedness. That is the reward for their wickedness, is the total annihilation of them. And let's see. But the yor was the part that I wanted to, because I was trying to figure out because right hand is, the word for it is literally right hand. So, but yor is, one of the definitions is because of your right hand. So 10,000s or millions because of your right hand. So it's, the interpretation I see of it is a lot like a Joshua story, where it's just in the middle of this battlefield, and Yahweh is your cover. There's no harm becoming you, no pestilences. When you see the Egyptian plagues and stuff from Scripture, it's just a culmination of all of those things, and that's what we're told is going to happen in the end of days. So we get to 9 through 11, 91, 9 through 11. Because you have made Yahweh my refuge, the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil befalls you, and a plague does not come near to your tent, for he commands his messengers concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. They bear you up in their hands, lest you dash your foot against a stone. So I was going through this, and the part where it talks about his messengers concerning you. For he commands his messengers concerning you. And that is H4397. It's Malach. And it's from dispatch as a deputy, a messenger, specifically of Yahweh, that is an angel or a messenger. Also, it could be a prophet, a priest, or a teacher. So I was like, well, that's interesting. You wonder if he's going to send his priest or his teachers concerning us, or is he going to send his angels? Because you always wonder, is he going to send messengers? Like with Joshua and them, he didn't send messengers. I mean, yes, Michael was there. Or we believe it was Michael that stood there when Joshua and his bunch were coming into the land. It says, take your shoes off, he's standing on set apart ground. And Joshua asked him, are you with us or are you against us? And so he actually had them, and you wonder, what was going on with that, Bart. But you wonder again, is that the way it's going to be again when we go back into the land? Because it's all revolves around going back into there. It's taking our inheritance, being part of what we are born to be. And so we get to that part, and I saw that the word guard is to guard you in all of your ways. Because it says his messengers, for he commands his messengers concerning you to guard you in all of your ways. And that's to a point, to charge, to give, and it's to guard. It's to put a hedge around. It's like what we talked about earlier. So this is really going to be an interesting time if we do what he tells us to do. And I kept going. It says, they bear you up in their hands, lest you dash your foot against a stone. And they bear you up as H5375, and it's Nassau. And it's got a variety of applications. I mean, the definition is long, as you will see on the slide. It's absolutely and relatively accept, advance, arise, able to, armor, bear up, bring, furnish, give, go on, help, high, hold up. It's just it basically means that they will protect. Basically your blind side. They will just keep you safe, that none of this evil will come upon you. All right, then we get to starting to get into the interesting stuff, and this is what really, I think people truly don't make the connections with these things, and I don't understand why, because this is what it's all about. Because as we get to 91:13 through 16, and it says, you tread upon lion and cobra, or adder, as in KJV says. And it says, young lion and serpent, KJV says dragon, you trample underfoot. And it's because he cleaves to me in love, therefore I deliver him. I set him on high because he has known my name. When he calls on me, I answer him. I am with him in distress. I deliver him and esteem him. With long life I satisfy him and show him my deliverance. So when we go back to the beginning here, we see you tread upon lion and cobra, or adder. KJV, or that is the definition, is adder. It's some kind of snake. I don't know where you got cobra from. But then we get to the young lion and serpent. The young lion is H3715, and it's Kepher. And it actually means a village. The second definition is also a young lion. So I was like, well, if it's a village, how would that sound? How would that be different? It says you tread upon lion and cobra, or you tread upon lions and adders, villages and dragons you trample underfoot. So I was like, well, that's interesting, because that gets to a Joel chapter 2 kind of scenario at the beginning when you read through that. If you haven't, read through that, and you'll see what I'm saying, where it talks about running on cities, running on walls. Great is the army that carries out Yahweh's word, trampling on villages and serpents and dragons. That there's nothing that stands before you, as we'll see here in just a minute, this dragon. And so, because that word is the serpent, it's H8577, and it means a land monster, that is a sea serpent, jackal, dragon, monster. So it's monster, I reckon. The big something mean and nasty. So, but that's Psalm 91, but the correlation with Psalm 91 we get into, because we get, where it talks about that dragon, Here's Revelations 12:17. It talks about, and the dragon was enraged with the woman. The woman is Israel. And he went to fight with the remnant of her seed, those guarding the commands of Elohim and possessing the witness of Yeshua Messiah. So, King David says, young lions and dragons you will trample under your feet. There we go. Yeshua himself says, Luke 10:19. See, I give you authority to trample on serpents and scorpions and over all the powers of the enemy, and none at all shall hurt you. It's the same thing. He's telling us again. So that's a second witness to his people who are keeping the commands, the people of Israel who choose to walk in Yahweh's ways, put him first and foremost, set him apart and be set apart, will do wondrous, awesome things. Because I want to even, Genesis 1:26, and Elohim said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them rule or have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and all the creeping creatures that creep on the earth. Dominion means to tread down. It's the same thing. Yahweh has given us the command, and that's what the redeemed part is he will redeem us when we walk in his ways, to have dominion over all things on this earth. And that's what the redeeming is. It's the redeeming to be worthy to be in his presence, to be the greatest nation on earth again, to be the most powerful, to be the most feared nation the world has ever seen. That is what we are to be redeemed into. And it's all gets back to keeping the commands of Yahweh. Because Yeshua himself said, do not think I came to destroy the Torah of the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill, to do, to show you how, to be your example. For truly I say unto you, until the heaven and the earth pass away, not one jot or tittle shall by no means pass from the Torah or the instructions till all be done. They're not done. This is the same place that he walked around in, so the heavens and the earth are still here. It says, whoever then breaks one of the least of these commands and teaches men so shall be called least in the reign of the heavens. So all you preachers out there that are teaching that these laws have been done away, be careful, because you will be called least in the kingdom of heavens. And all you people that believe these men, as Hosea 4:6 is for you. It says, my people have perished for lack of knowledge, because they have rejected knowledge. I reject you from being priests for me, since you have forgotten the Torah of your Elohim. I also forget your children. So just remember that, folks. That's where we're at. Everybody says, oh, it's done away with. No, it's not. And you are going to be run over. Joel chapter 2 is for you. The end of it. You're going to be run over if you do not keep his commands. Be part of the train instead of be part of the tracks. That's what we've got going on here. That's what this whole thing is about. Yahweh says, walk in my ways. I will protect you from all of this. You will cast this stuff aside. I will help you. This is our destiny to fulfill the commands. It's our destiny to take back the land. It is our destiny to cleanse the land of the wickedness. It is our destiny. We do not need outside intervention. Yahweh will provide all we need if we will just walk in his ways. I think that the stuff in Revelation, it's talking the same thing. If you will turn, my seed, the seed of the woman, the ones keeping the commands and the witness of Yeshua, they will be the ones that endure. We cannot use fear. We have to be out front. That is, to me, the mark of Yahweh, is no fear. We know that he is with us. There is nothing that will stand against. He tells us in the blessings, that you walk in my ways, you do my commands, no man stands before you all of your days. I will make you the greatest of the great, the best of the best. Keeping the commands. If everybody says it's not that important, but it's critically important. If you don't believe me, you cannot read through your scriptures and come up with any other alternative unless you're getting an interpretation from some man that's leading you astray. Back away from that fool and run. Pick up your Bible, read it for yourself. Find somebody that's telling you the truth and listen to them. The truth will set you free. So, with that, that's Psalm 91. How I see Psalm 91, how the scriptures push back to Psalm 91, what David has seen in his days, what his Yahweh always did for him, what Joshua saw, what Yeshua said is coming during his time, and in Revelation. That's Psalm 91 in a nutshell for me. I hope you just read it for yourself, study it for yourself, pick up your Bible, pick up your Strong's Concordances and read through it. Pick out the words and understand what it's trying to tell you. Don't let some man interpret anything for you. Read it for yourself. Read it. Seek knowledge. Seek knowledge. Seek Yahweh. Seek His face. Put it in prayer. This is the way, when you pray, He will show you everything that you need to see. Don't hide. Don't put your head in the sand and say, oh, this is hocus pocus crap. This is real deal, folks. We're there. This time is coming. If you can't, look at the news. He's coming. He's around the corner. And so, you got to choose which side you're going to be on. That's what it's all about. So, be strong, be courageous, fear. The only thing to fear is Yahweh Himself. And if you walk in His ways, there is nothing on this earth that you will ever have to fear. So, with that being said, be strong, courageous. We'll see you again very soon. Take care.